Well, morning, Mr. Artist in Recovery, Mr. Daryl, sir. It's 2:25 on the West Coast time in the morning. It is the 29th of January, 2024. Happy birthday, dude. We're both showing our age. Except you, I don't see the gray on it just yet. You're expressing how grateful that you are regarding the place that you live in. Uh, I am grateful for the place I live in at this point over here, despite the fact I've got extra tenants I like to get rid of on a constant basis. But, you know, they're here to stay. They're in the walls. They're everywhere. So we deal. I deal with it. It's Monday morning. Some things I've already made a commitment to, and not just on a negative side anyway, even though it may seem like it. I had told you many times, and I'll say it again, that I live in the armpit of the Antelope Valley in California. People keep thinking it's sunny out here and not raining all the time, but we do get our fair share of rain here, and when it gets cold enough during the winter time, February and March mostly, we get to be getting downright chilly. And I'm not talking about just 40s or 50s in the morning. I'm talking about waking up in the morning and you got your toes hurting like crazy. That's about teens and almost 20s. Probably short sleeve weather for you. Not for us out here. And yeah, it does get cold and chilly and once in a great while snowy, and I look forward to it sometimes. Before the body really started wearing breaking down, I looked forward to seeing snow and dealing with the snow. There have been a few times I actually did a few videos and posted out there. Because we hardly ever get it out here in the lower elevations, even though we're in a so-called high desert. I normally hit the Tehachapi's. May I kindly refer you back over to the maps of the Google, sir? Yeah, I won't do this to you again, aren't Probably seen this too many times in your sleep. It's going to give you nightmares. And you consider your place The Shining? Jeez, that is a big, huge place. I saw the movie, I think once or twice. Never again. Nicholson's an outstanding performance. So is Shelley. But I am not dealing with Stephen King's mentality at this point. No thanks. He scares me. King scares me. That creativity in his head concerning about the Gothic, man. He put Mary Shelley into a horror there. I mean, he'd have fun with the Promethean man. And I saw that back in the 80s when it was on cable. I didn't go out to the theaters. I saw stuff coming out on cables because we had actually on TV and then switched over to cable out here back in the 80s. Actually, I did have on TV in the 70s. Watch movies, but then we got to cable and we opened up a whole new world of seeing stuff. And then King had to come across the television screen, saw The Shining. It was moody music they had in that one. And this big, huge, empty place. I'm like, oh, it's perfect, definitely for King. I mean, he definitely scared living daylights out of people with this particular place. And I looked at it on the screen. I'm thinking, okay, what the hell are we watching? And pieces of this guy losing his soul into this place to the point where he was going to be doing killing. He was going to kill off Shelley and the kid because he was losing it. There had been fans writing stories on this one, trying to get some analysis. Maybe, just maybe, he was meant to be there. His character, not the actor, but trying to get into the mind of Stephen King and trying to figure him out on that one. I said, no, thank you. It was bad enough when Salem's Lot came on television back in the 70s. People were raving about Salem's Lot. I stayed the hell away from David Soul. God rest his soul. God bless him, though. And that was a screwed up movie. And then you had, what was that, the other one? Oh, not Salem's Lot. I mean, that was the vampire crap. I'm talking about the other haunted house. After I saw that movie just once, that scene just kept playing in my head sometimes. Where you have this family getting the hell out of there because this house doesn't want them. You got disrupted spirits in there, just didn't want any living beings in there. It's screaming and yelling at the people going, get out! After seeing that theatrical version of that particular place, I'm thinking, oh, thank you. I am staying the hell away from movies that creep me out. What the hell do I watch? I watched the movie Alien. And then a few years later, I watched the movie Aliens. Go figure. So getting back to the Google Maps there, pal. Usually for me it starts off with the street map, looking at all the street names of this place. Ah, hold on. Coffee. Coffee. 2 o'clock in the freaking morning. Actually, 2:34 in the freaking morning. Here I am with coffee. Okay, back to the old homestead at this point over here. There's not even a weather map on this thing. If it was, I'd love to watch this thing. See how bad we're going to be getting. Okay. Scrolling it out to get a larger view of the armpit of the Anvil Valley. And look at I look at the mountain ranges of the Tehachapi's. When they get snow on them, it's, I don't know, it looks so damn pretty when it gets out there. They'll hit the mountain ranges of the San Gabriels on the southern end and Tehachapi's on the northern end, and it just looks so damn pretty. Because we hardly ever get that kind of contrast unless we get some actual snow coming in. If we actually get a storm system moving in. It's only during the wintertime that we actually get it. In summertime, we'll get the summer storms, and that's when the cameras really go crazy for photography. Lightning going across the sky. Unbelievable. These days, it's just waiting for the winter storms to come in, drown us a bit. We get the weather reports telling us that in certain communities we have flooding zones. Well, hell, take a look in the south area here. Just take your mouse, scroll on down, or just maneuver it down, and you'll see the mountain ranges of the Southern California region that I grew up living under, with its multiple earthquake zones left and right. And this is home. This is home. They say the beautiful coastlines, except when you get a lot of storm surges coming through, and then the beaches get contaminated left and right. Everything else gets shut down from Point Conception all the way down to the border. Yeah, we had the waterways to divert all the flooding that we've got in the urban areas out to the sea, and they flush out all the damn garbage. And actually get it cleaned up a bit. People can actually go on there. Sometimes I'll worry about whether or not it's safe still to go out there. A long time ago, my friend, there were places along the Malibu coast. Scroll in a little bit to Los Angeles area, and you look at the coastline there a bit. It's a bit jagged points sticking out. Oh yeah, my doom. I'll show you something that sometimes I miss going through. I'm trying to get some of the mountain ranges scrolled up over here. I wish I would have been able to show it on this particular screen here, but I gotta force you to do this one here, my friend. Sorry. Under Google Maps, if you happen to look at the Point Doom, that little jagged rock right there, left-hand side of it, there's a long stretch called Zuma Beach. Prettiest stretch I'd ever been on, except for Bolsa Chica, closer to Long Beach on that one, and actually in the Orange County area. Growing up as a kid, I went there a few times when I was staying with my relatives out there in different portions of LA, an area called Bell, enclosed area. And they would go to Balsa Chica for beach. And they had these little shells all over the place. I used to collect them when I was a kid. And when I wasn't going to the beach over there, I'd be going over to Zuma Beach. That long stretch. Somewhere out there, they actually had a colony. It was purported to be a nudist colony out there. Yeah, I did say the N word now, did I? Closer to the doom. Some of the private areas of the beach. A little niche in that area would be people having, show bare naked out there. It's a hell of a community to live out there. Driven through it several times in my lifetime. Me and my brother and my family would. Mostly my brother and I would be going through that area. Very expensive real estate. Very expensive real estate out there. If I look at it from the geologic point of view and seeing how the dunes just kind of plop on each other and just kind of fall out, just how the raised area is. I kept thinking, these poems are next when they're going to be going swept away. But they get these places because of the view and close to the beach. And still have problems sometimes concerning about public access versus private access. Especially when a little south of it where some of these homes are right next to the beach or right next to the roadways that they have over there. Or almost just basically on top of the damn ocean there. When we get these huge ass storms coming from the north and also from the south, blowing through, I keep watching to see how much coastal erosion we're getting. Somewhere they keep getting these uh, beach dunes set up so these homes don't get swept away, and yet we get these um, phenomena called king tide. Massive, massive. There are certain times of the year that we get them, and when we do, we get coastal flooding like crazy on this one. We've had landslides and homes disappearing into the water. Even when we had public access to them, I mean, the whole coast is getting eroded by geology and by meteorology. It is just crazy out there. I used to work out there for a short time. I gotta tell you about the travel from the San Fernando Valley all the way through to the beach and then up and down the coastline here. People said that we're living for the California beach line. I'm no surfer. I was a beachgoer for a long while. My family would go out there to Zuma Beach. We would travel on the freeway in the San Fernando Valley. Kindly scroll up, kind sir, to the San Fernando Valley western end, to the southwestern end. You might notice an area called either Calabasas or Hidden Hills or somewhere in that area, with a stretch of the Ventura Freeway, the 101. I'll give you a few minutes. Nothing to get yourself navigated on this here, pal. I had to do it all my life. Had to be a navigator for my family. I had to find areas. Had to keep them on track sometimes. Southern California, I had to be the navigator. I had to tell my brother where the hell to drive. We may know some of the other areas, but we still had to navigate them one way or another. Thomas guides really came in handy. These days, give me a frickin' Thomas guide any day. Sometimes I can't stand electronics. They piss me off sometimes. Okay, so you got the area? Okay, good. So in Calabasas is a little bit of a hillside community that we have out there. Certain sections of it would actually have farmer markets. Ooh, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Fruits, vegetables, meat, bread, cheeses, and then coffee vendors. Iced coffee, blended mochas. Screw that frappuccino crap they keep saying over at Starbucks. Screw that noise. No, it's ice blended mochas. Mocha, 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 mocha. I love that stuff. I got hooked on it. I got hooked at when my mother was working at the senior center out in the San Fernando Valley. And then the Sunday that the farmer market came out, there was always this coffee vendor over there. I just wanted to know what the hell it was. My brother tried one drink and he led me over to that coffee guy. And he had ice blended mochas. I never tried it before in my life. Never even heard of it. And then I was hooked. I mean, hell, he knew I was a coffee drinker. Growing up as a kid, I drank cream and coffee with sugar in it. That was my drink. Go to the restaurants. That's what I was drinking. I could never stand coffee straight. So ice blended mocha is like chocolate powder and chocolate syrup mixed in with coffee powder, water, a bit of milk in there. Ice. Grind that thing up. There was a formula that they used for it. And it's like, oh, so damn good on a hot day. On a colder day, brain freeze. Anyway, I remember places like that. Every time I kept looking at the San Fernando Valley, I'm looking at Calabasas and the 101. So keep this in mind that my family is coming from different portions of the San Fernando Valley. When we went to the beach, this was like back in the 70s and 80s, and after that, we just hadn't gone out to the beach in a long while after that. Maybe once in a great while, me and my brother would, but we'd come back home as lobsters. Stay out in the sun too long. And without the sunscreen, oh man, uneven tans in our lifetime in our bodies. But going through this canyon, um, Daryl, let me ask you a question. This is going to be a long ass video, so forgive me if I'm going to be going off in the deep end on this one here. I'll save the question for the next video here because I definitely want to get your feedback on this one, pal.